Okay, well, thank you for staying. Our third and final panel will be held in English because there are also three Ukrainian choreographers, dance artists who've come to join us. And the topic for the third panel is community and the role of community in the dance scene. So first of all, I would perhaps like to introduce you guys and then give you a chance to, with a couple of words, maybe just introduce how would you like to title yourself. So the first panelist is Tetiana Znamerovska. Yeah, okay. So yeah, a couple of words about yourself.
My name is Tetiana Znamerovska. I'm dancer and choreographer from Ukraine. I work between contemporary dance and dance theater. And next, Anton.
Can I use two? To have a stereo sound. Three. President, call me just president. So, my name is Anton Ovchinnikov. I'm a father of a dragon, which means that this year my son was born, and this is the year of dragon. So that means that I am the father of the dragon. And yeah, so, and I'm head of the NGO Ukrainian Contemporary Dance Platform, project manager, and also artist, choreographer, performer. Yeah, doing whatever is interested for me, and I'm interested in all the art forms around.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for invitation, and I'm happy to be here. I'm Rita Lira. I'm Ukrainian dancer and choreographer. I base in Paris during this last 2.5 of the year, but last 3 months I spent in Ukraine, and after Tallinn I'm coming back to Paris. So I also work in Ukrainian contemporary dance platform, and in my practices I'm somewhere between visual art, contemporary dance, and street dance. Somehow. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Keithy Kuuspu. I'm from Tallinn, Estonia. What? And my background is in choreography and in performance art, and also now I'm studying ceramics.
I'm Rūta Ronja Pakalne. I'm a Latvian originated dance and film artist that has been based in Estonia for 10 years. In Latvia, I'm already Estonian dance artist. So that's who I am.
So perhaps the first question, like half of you already answered to it, but maybe elaborate a bit of it, that where are you currently residing? And also, like, I can guess that the background of your choice or decision to reside perhaps somewhere else, but just maybe give a bit of a context where you reside and what's the scene like where you are. Whoever wants
to elaborate. During last 2 years, since November 2022, I live in Vilnius, Lithuania, where I found my new family. So my wife is Lithuanian, and my son is half Ukrainian, half Lithuanian. And but I mostly do work. So we have our, as Rita said, we have Ukrainian Dance Platform, organization, institution, whatever it is, NGO, which it is for people, and we all work in different countries, so we meet only online, but I think quite successfully doing international projects to support Ukrainian dance community. And as an artist, I work internationally, so I have some few solo performances, also dance film. I also create music for my films mostly. and I present it where people are interested to present it. So yes, but my base now is Vilnius, which I was trying to get closer in terms of local dance community, but I wasn't successful. So I know very well the Lithuanian dance community and artists and companies and choreographers, but I've never succeeded to get in some collaboration or whatever it is.
So as I already say that I base in Paris, but I came there after the beginning of full-scale invasion, and it happened by chance. I never dreamt to live in Paris. So when I came there, it was La Briqueterie, this organization that helped me to come there. And they applied me to residency Cité des Arts. It's big artistic residency that really support me first of the year that I spent in France. I couldn't imagine how I could survive without that, actually there in Paris, because it's intense, expensive city. So, and there I had wonderful opportunity to actually make some art, like to work, because I had this support, and I didn't know that I gonna have it. And I created my first performance about the war there, and then other one that you're gonna, a bit of advertising, that you're gonna see tomorrow, The Trap, also there. And then I found myself in Paris Fine Art School by chance also. And that's interesting that in Paris I have around, like, I'm surrounding more visual artists, like Ukrainian visual artists, than dancers. And some of the Ukrainian dancers who came to Paris, they left because it was too intense for them. And I'm more in visual art community now. But I hope, thanks to Moving Border project. I'm part of this project that's supported by Aerowaves. We're gonna organize meeting for Ukrainian dancers and choreographers in Paris, and we're gonna try to build some new links there. Yeah, thank you.
So I resided in Latvia for many years, and then after that I moved to Brussels, studied there. And then after that, briefly lived in many different places. Iceland was one of them. And then I ended up in Estonia, and I've been residing in Kalamaja for the past numbers of years. And Estonia has been now, yeah, the place.
I have always lived in Estonia. Always in Tallinn, traveling around as much as I can, possibly, trying to. And I studied as a choreographer, like in a choreography studies in Tallinn University, and then moved on to MA in Music and Theatre Academy in contemporary physical performance making. I think it was right like this. Yeah, and now I'm like gotten into visual art more as well, and trying to connect those all parts of my interest.
What role has the community played in your decision to like reside or change your place of residence, or like you have decided to stay in Estonia? Has the community sort of played a role in it, or it's?
I mean, definitely, but I have thought a lot about like moving away, but I always feel, not because of the community, but I always feel like that I'm still so interested in so many things in Estonia that what I haven't yet gotten a chance to do, or there are so many interesting people with who to work with, and I haven't yet. So I feel that I'm not ready to go away because I have so much things to do here. So I don't know if it's a community, but it's just like, yeah, it is community. It is the people still with who I want to work and things I want to do.
What about you, Ukrainians? Did you well, you said that you didn't dream of moving to Paris, but was this idea of moving abroad also a topic in your head before the start of the invasion, or was it just a result?
For me, that's I never thought that I could move for living for a long time, never. I just thought and felt that I would like to have some project abroad, maybe some education program or something. I felt that I would like to grow up, but not this way. That happened, and when I decided to leave because I was looking for financial support for my family, and it wasn't possible in Ukraine that time. So it was the base of my decision.
That's I will tell you quite a long story. Okay. Introduction. There's, for many years, for Ukrainian choreographers, I can't say for all of them, but for many, to have their work in Europe was kind of a dream. So it's, of course, I should say that dance and contemporary dance is very popular in Ukraine. We have hundreds of dance schools. I don't talk about the university level, but kind of a private amateur level. But this technically, if saying about the technically dancers, we have amazing dancers everywhere. I think hundreds of thousands. And yeah, but it's kind of not so easy to find job for them except teaching, like everywhere. Teaching, maybe classes, workshops. But then if you want to create something and if you want to make your living with your choreographic work or performer, you should go to Europe, because mostly, I should say that in 2010, we started the first in Ukraine International Contemporary Dance Festival, where choreographers could present professional works on the stage to the audience. There are a lot of theater festivals, but normally it was quite always difficult to be invited there as a dance performers. So they kind of very in their own circle, only working with the theater, and not even physical theater, but very traditional drama theater. So then that means, okay, to go abroad, to go study abroad, to start your career abroad was always a good way for developing career. And mostly what was interesting, that's the thing I want to come, that Ukrainians who go study abroad and then educated and then started working there, they slowly forgot that they are Ukrainians. They very, very fast, they felt disconnected from Ukrainian dance community and integrated into local dance community, which is normal because they live there, they work there, they connect with all these people, and then when you see when they present their performances like 2 years ago before the invasion, you would never see that it's Ukrainian choreographers. You see the names, okay, I know this person, but there's France, Germany, Belgium, whatever else. But then, after the beginning of the invasion, this process go to the different direction. It's changed. So, and I think that's a good thing. Now, I believe that it's a good turn, that mostly, many of them, at least people who I know, they have been reminded that they are Ukrainian, and they felt like they want to present Ukraine in their work, in their artistic works, and they want to, also in their performing arts work, they want to get deeper into the Ukrainian context, meaning that they want their performances has been rooted into Ukrainian culture, into Ukrainian traditions, into Ukrainian history, into Ukrainian identity. So they want to feel this connection, and they want their audience to feel this connection, which is quite interesting. That means that we as an organization, as Contemporary Dance Platform, we also started not establishing but trying to keep this connection, and also helping Ukrainians who left and who work abroad last 2 years, trying to make them not lose this connection with Ukrainian community. So kind of track what they do, what they we started from the video dance because that was the easiest way to present to our audience. We created this platform, Let the Body Speak, the archive of the video dance works created in the last 2 years. So that's all aimed to keep this connection between Ukrainian choreographers all over Europe and maybe wider. So I think this sense of community now is very important for us. And I also think that it's very much because of these dramatical history events when that happened. And I think it's right for all the nations all over the world. When these kind of things happen, people, wherever they are all over the world, they start feeling this connection with the land where they come from or where their parents came from.
So firstly, I think I should to say where I am now. Yes, after the full-scale invasion, I moved in Germany. And now I'm a resident of Pina Bausch Theater, so they gave for the Ukrainian dancers chance to support their shape. They did a lot of workshops, classes, and we did performance together with choreographer Raina Bera. This is choreographer and dancer of Pina Bausch Dance Theater. And if to back the question about the community, for me it wasn't big. I didn't dream about that I will live abroad and to do something. It was mostly that to got some education. And now it's kind of aim in my life to got this, I don't know, new tools, new methods, something new, and to bring it in Ukraine. Because when I was a student and I really missed it, I all time feeling that it's not enough to be in that level where I want. And yes, now it's very important thing, and I see that people who now abroad, Ukrainian dancers, they bringing this different, interesting thing in our community, and I think it's really, really important to develop and growing this our context and our dance surviving.
I have a little question because today we have mentioned before that if you want to be like a successful dance artist, then you need to go out to Europe. But I would like to know what does it mean, because now you have experience in Europe and how what is the Europe that knows what is a dance community who knows how to appreciate it more? For example, like I've heard a lot of the Netherlands. It is called SNDO, so that is like a performance art community that, as I understands dance better because they've done it more. They've, I don't know, maybe, yeah, have more experience in dance in that way compared to maybe Estonia's 2 dance schools. Or so I would like to know, like, if with your experience now outside your own communities in dance, is it like, is there something to be learned, or what is the difference, or what are the points that make a dance community stronger in those different countries, and what is the Europe that we are escaping to?
Okay, I try to gather thoughts. First of all, I would like to wonder what does it mean, successful dance artist?
Yes, that's important.
This is like a really big question, and I understand that you right now list a kind of a thought that, yeah, if we go abroad or go to Europe, does that make us more successful? Just as a question in the air, I think the word successful is very funny. Well, based on what I've seen or what's my experience as, yeah, I also went to study in parts in Brussels and then made a decision to return to Baltics, return to Estonia that was so much better than Latvia, and everything is much better in Estonia, which I don't think is true. Because we always want to see that something is better somewhere else. And actually a big revelation came to me now that in last February I went to Oslo to see what they are making at Ice Hot, all the Scandinavia and all the money and all the funding and all these possibilities. It was like mind-blowing. On one hand, I felt super inspired to see all this art, all the possibilities, that there is no really frame of this is the end. You basically can do whatever you want. But on another hand, I felt super depressed to return back to Estonia. But then I had a very meaningful conversation with, again, Sveta Grigorieva. And I think that is where I'm getting at to respond to the question. We started discussing the history and what our countries have gone through and how we are so different from Scandinavia. In some ways we are wannabe Scandinavia, but education, art-wise, let's say the experience of our audience or the viewer is so different from what they have in Scandinavia, and we felt like weirdo Estonians there that don't understand anything. But then most of the people that go see the performances are really mainstream people that go see theater in Estonia. And that was kind of like, whoa. So what I'm getting at is that it takes time, and we were happily in the end returning to Estonia. Like today, the talk was also about how to survive and dance house, etc. We still have to work on it. We have to develop the field. We have to develop the audience or educate them. It's hard work and it's sometimes super like depressing, but it's getting somewhere. And it probably will take another 20, 30 years to get there so the next generations can live in the better artistic environment, hopefully. So I think we can be successful in, there's a theory, small pond or big pond. So you can be successful in a small pond or big pond. So if we imagine that Europe is the big pond, maybe you feel good to be successful there, maybe I don't feel good. Maybe I feel small pond Estonia better and you don't. No? So the question of success and what it actually means, I think, is also a very questionable thing.
I would like to know where do you feel like the dance community meets? Like what are the places that the dance community meets up or sees each other, or
in person or online or metaphysically?
Let's take first like physically, like in person.
In premieres.
Last week I felt dance community at Tantsu Room's class. First time in a long time I felt that there's dance community in Estonia.
And also Tantsu Room online. I feel the same. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think in Ukraine we have any events which kind of unite. I would say, first of all, Ukraine is a big country. And second, I would say there are no such a thing as one dance community. There are many communities. Some people say, that first of all, you can say that there is a community. This is the community of street dancers. This is the community of commercial dancers. This is the community of experimental dancers. Sometimes they overlapped, but not so much. Sometimes they just keep the distance, just don't want to overlap. And what our organization did is that the festival and some online platforms and events and whatever, we've been trying to connect people, and also we've been trying hard to get closer people from other communities, as we feel like they kind of separated, but we feel that what they do, it's really interesting for us and really could be interesting for international audience, so we kind of try to engage them, but it's not so easy. First of all, I think important thing about communities, what makes them be in communities, the values. That's, if you ask them, normally they not will tell you right away that this is the values, but when you start thinking, this is something deeper, and it's values, how people talk about things, how they think about that, what important for them, even when they talk, even when they meet, when they eat together. This is the important thing. But yeah, many, I would say it's many communities, but now it become closer, what I feel now, talking about Ukrainians who in any way continue their artistic activity, because not all the dancers and choreographers has this possibility to continue their creative work. They change, or they quit for some time. There's different situations.
I want to say in between, quickly. As you have noticed, we have a soup here because it's Koreo cafe, but seems like we have a problem with the soup. So instead of that, we want your hands to start working. So could we ask you to help us with the cake, with serving the cake? So we have cake, the knives, the plates, and could you serve it on the plates, please, while you're talking?
Yes.
So yes, we put it here. We put it here so you can stay here.
Yes. You wanted to elaborate?
Yeah, your question was
where does the dance scene, like dance community, meet up, or what are the places that we see each other?
In Estonian context, I think it's a bit sad, or getting sad, or has been getting sad. And I can't even compare it to Ukrainian field, like this is not comparable. So I would like to just make that remark. In context of Estonia, I think, yeah, it's exactly like you said, performances, premieres, Tantsu Room, and some like here and there, like this festival. But I feel like this dance community is kind of slipping through our fingers, and it doesn't mean that we should be living together and meeting every day for coffee or something, but because we are so busy with everything else in context of not only making art or creating, we're so busy, and Raho talked about it earlier, that somebody needs to start working, somebody's doing this or that, that it's so hard to keep it going, and it's a question how to manage it.
Yeah, I just remembered that we have this other dance community, other dance community as well, who are like studio-based dancers, and I think, well, they are even like maybe in a better place with meeting up. I don't know that much anymore, but as I remember from my past, like competitions, and there are many, and always they go. And they practice for that, and then they meet up there. So maybe even more often than we.
Yeah, I totally agree. It feels like the contemporary dance community meets up in non-places, in the hallways, in all type of hallways. Yes, in the hallways of like theater buildings or school buildings, or it's like in the hallways of places, which is kind of questionable. Or public space.
In Kalamaja.
In Kalamaja.
At my fatness.
I also want to add, and I agree with Anton, that now we have such a lot of different community, and I also think that now we are becoming closer and closer, but also the reason I think that this is the topic, and the topic of war, and it's not only about this topic in the performances, it's also about that I see now a lot of events that Ukrainian dancers making just that to keep money for the donating. So it's also unite, yes, our community and different parts of community in Ukraine, like street dancers, contemporary dancers, experimental, so on.
So I heard that the cake is lactose free. Yeah?
Yeah, that's actually interesting that we also have these competitions and this culture of, I can call it like more like commercial dance with this, with big kids collective that make this like show, etc. But and it's probably could gather more people, but also we have really strong like art dance community, and I feel that there is no big wall. I mean. People really know each other and open, even in these different small groups, like communities, like more experimental dance, more commercial dance, etc. So people know each other and people open to collaborate, to do something together. And also, I know some people who decided to stay in Ukraine to support, like. Really experienced choreographers who decided to stay and to do, how to translate майстерня, like workshop. It's more like long-term course, like laboratory, like education laboratory, how to make performances, etc. And they really like study some like dance history, some like they're trying to do like they're digging deeper. And what I can compare it to Paris, for example, and during this 2.5 years, I still didn't feel that I'm part of dance community there. And I know many artists, I know many people from street dance, from contemporary dance, but I just don't feel that I could be part of it. But at the same time, I could say that if you come to Ukraine and you just ask me or someone else, so like Ukrainian dancer, to help you, to show community, people will be extremely open. And I think so that like foreigner dancer will never feel alone and bad, because Ukrainian community is really like friendly, and that I didn't feel this thing in Paris, but they shouldn't be like us or we like them. It's just about some difference.
Yes. How do you feel? What type of influence do the institutions have on like dance community? What type of influence do institutions have on like dance community?
The best way to influence dance communities for institutions is to give money. You know, when some funding organizations do the open call, announce an open call with certain conditions, all the people who join it, they at certain moment they become community, because and that's kind of important. And I think, as we've been talking about that in our circle a lot, that now, last 2 years, the financial support for performing arts in Ukraine looks better than it was before the invasion, mostly because of European money. But there are quite a lot of programs, and thanks to that, a lot of new works created. Like last open call for performing arts, how many? There was 12 dance performances won this. 14. Yeah, but that's quite, that received money. Yeah. And applications there were like 40 or 50, something like that. So that means that, you know, there were always people who want to do something like artistic, something experimental, but not so many people who wants to do it without being funded. So as soon as there are funding for that, people kind of go out and they say, okay, I'm here, I want to do that. And then at some moment we see all of these people, and then we understand, oh, there's so many creators here. So I think this is not the only one, and not the only one thing that can impact the development of the communities, but quite important, I would say. And talking again about our organization, Dance Platform, Association Dance Platform, I think what we do, even giving people more information about whatever, festivals, workshop, residencies, funding opportunities, whatever else, and keeping all of them in the same place, like, I don't know, one group in social media, or one group we use a lot Telegram in Ukraine, like, and it all creates community, because people kind of all come there and they somehow start communicating. And now we announced, just also very shortly, I think very extremely important thing for uniting dance community. We, as an organization, we decided to create the database of the Ukrainian dance performances which are ready for touring. And we announced an open call, and we received, I don't know how many applications, maybe something like 50 or something like that, 60. Yeah, and we selected about half of them, and that means that there will be one website which we as an organization created with all of these performances, with all of the information there, like you can contact directly the artist, you can see the trailer, the technical stuff, blah, 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 whatever. And I think this is also, I would say that's first time in the history of Ukrainian contemporary dance. Yeah. Yes, somehow, yeah.
I would maybe understand the question a bit differently, or take it from this direction of how does our institutions or venues or houses influence our creative work. And I would it's so complex. In a way, we, the artists, could say that, okay, the venues that we have, they want this or they want that. And why don't they want this or why don't they want that? It's very complicated, because they also, the house, the venue itself, they have goals, they have kind of vision, and it's also very much connected to finance. in a way, I don't believe that STL can, for example, support all dance artists in Estonia now, program everybody. So that is very much also guiding, also the funding. In Estonia, it's quite known that, okay, Ruslan made now a piece for 7 dancers, but it's not really often that we see more than 4 or 5 people on stage. So it's this smaller amount of performers on stage performances constantly, because that's the funding, and the funding allows that. And in comparison, I would say that in Latvia, where they don't have, for the dance field, they don't have venues at all, where, reflection to what Kaia said before, they make more individual work applying themselves and do get some money. But that is also connected to the fact that they don't, at the end, have the house where to show it. So it also complicates the process. So sadly, yes, it's not like, as I said in Oslo, you get money, you do, and you do whatever you want. And there is no border to it.
This, what I say now, is maybe like a small impact thing, but I have really felt like really good when it happens. So I bring it out, is when somebody's taking care of you in a way that it doesn't need to be something big, and not like even like considering money, but kind of like community-based taking care, and also like producers and institutions and houses taking care that if there is like somebody in the city who, I don't know, producer feels that their like practice is going together with your practice, then the producer or your friend or somebody from the community lets you know that, hey, this person is in town, do you want to meet, do you want to studio visit, or something like this, or hey, I saw this performance there, do you want to see it, because it reminds me a bit of your practice. I'm trying to do it with my, like, not even friends, like students or whoever I'm like kind of reminded when I see something. So this kind of like connection between each other, I think this just feels really good. And maybe I'm not like, yeah, I don't see everything all the time, so it's good. And if somebody's reminding you something, or yeah.
Yeah, so sort of how and what type of support does the community offer? And then also, what type of support does it need from outside?
I mean, it's really hard if you do a dance education of, let's say, 3 or 4 years, and then let's add masters to it. So 6. You do it. I don't know what those students right now that are studying, what's going to happen, like, because the work options are as much as we have. And I'm, of course, right now talking about our current country that we are in. So where is it going to go is my question. Now I got lost.
Like, what does the community offer?
Like sometimes I dream when you look at Europe or France or Belgium, this kind of artist status. So why I talked about education. You do all this professional stuff, you finish the school, and then chooks, like what then? Like then you run, you work, you can't, like you are doing everything to survive. But then I look at my friends in Belgium, it's really nice. They have an artist status. They can register, they get some money as a support. They don't even need to do anything. But then they start doing something and then they get more money. So it's just really the construct and the value state-wise is very different from what we know.
I don't know. That's I'm always curious how this happens in other communities, like in Estonia, for example. But for example, in Ukraine, there's a feeling of very high competitiveness in the community. I don't know why, because there is what to compete for. That's not clear. Of course, there is not so much money always, but you know, if like 90% of the artist has never been even applying to anywhere. They would just say, okay, there is no money to create, and that's all. So there is no competition like 150 applications for one grant. But still there is a kind of, if this competition goes in very small things, like if one person creates something and announce the premiere, which is then quite easy that the community should support it and share it everywhere. But this is very limited. Maybe one or two of your friends will do it. And then if you send the direct message to another two friends and ask them to do, then they will probably do it. Otherwise, it's a very strange feeling. Like people, when you talk with people, they're really happy. They would say, oh, cool, you create new things. Wow, I would come to see. But they would never support you like openly and say, oh, let's go and see those person performance. That's very interesting. I don't say that's not always. No, that's not always.
Not all and
not always. That's not like everybody like this. But there's, when the community is very big and it's separated to small communities, okay, there will be always small groups which support you. But other people kind of doing like they don't know you, and we didn't know that you do something.
I think it really depends on how you build your relationship with all of these groups and people. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I can connect to that, but sometimes it could be different way. I just wanted to add this thing that my observation that we have. So you were talking about people who already, like, for example, in Belgium or in France, they have this status, they have this support, etc. So there is, it's just my perception, like people a bit, lower that want to do that, want to receive that, but don't have it. But we have other group of people. It's a bit wild dancers that can't even believe that it's possible. So I'm coming to them and say, there is grant, there is money, we should write application. And they're like, no way, nobody gonna give us money. We're gonna work in commercial things, and we're gonna earn money and put it in our art. But it's not possible that they still cannot believe that it's possible to get any funding. I'm just sometimes trying to talk to them and explain that it's possible, but we are in process. They are really, but at the same time, this wildness, it's like independence. They are like, we don't need anything. But they cannot believe, and also it's this position that, okay, we're gonna do everything by ourselves. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, because of that, they are becoming really strong and really powerful artists, and they can do really amazing things. Mm-hmm. So there is different sides of this thing.
Maybe they just feel that if they apply somewhere and get money from some organizations, that would limit them. They would have
own them something.
Yeah. They would have to do something what those people expect them to do. But they want to be free, absolutely free. They just want to do whatever.
It also depends. I heard the word commercial, so it really depends what kind of commercial stuff. And because in some cases they really earn really well, and it can be a reason.
But
they don't need money, so they have enough.
No, I think. No, but commercial thing is project things. You can get once good salary, and then half of the year no salary for that. It's projects. It's like advertising or like music, dance video, something like that.
Music, dance show, commercial shows.
Yeah, I have like two thoughts, like what you previously talked about, like supporting, and now this, that with applying, I feel that maybe 75% of my practice is applying to like things, and then this other % is like making art. Yes. So it's mostly like just like applying, and then this reporting, and then this time comes when you should do, and then you're so tired of like already like writing so much and like, yeah. But with this, I feel that Estonian community is so small that not that everybody is supportive and sharing, but I guess it's fine in a fine level. But I feel that, or at least myself, I don't know how you feel, but you need to make it to every performance what here is happening. Because it's like so small, though we like a lot of things are happening, but they're like this FOMO gets you often that because it's a lot happening, but not a lot enough that maybe you could make it to every performance. And I'm like not talking about like all the theater and stuff. I'm like in a performance art and dance art scene. So yeah, I think it's a bit opposite in a way, a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it's a lot happening, yeah.
It's a lot happening right now because there's a festival.
No, I think like usually I'm doing like this list of performances what I want to see, and like half of that usually I can see and half of no.
Yeah, but how much of that is dance performances?
I'm talking in general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not like dance performances especially, yeah.
31.
Mm-hmm.
3 per month. Not bad.
Yeah, for 1 million persons.
So imagine if we would have a house and then it would be like full-on repertory. Sounds pretty good. Triinu, we are on with the idea.
I also was very like intrigued by your comment about the competitiveness, because I feel like in Estonia, I would call everyone colleagues rather than competitors. Or it's like, yeah, but perhaps it's a thing with such a small community. You can't really, like, I don't know.
But Kulka is still a competitive platform, and isn't it that the Estonian mentality is to be less kind of in your face about the competitiveness, that this competitiveness is still an actual topic that happens more in the background? Because often I hear, oh, again, this person got, oh my God, this person has been getting already so many times. Like, when is this person's chance? Like, and I don't mean it as now that it's for everybody, but we don't, or you Estonians, like, it's not really often that is, I think it's something about mentality as well. This in your face competitiveness or this, yeah, hope.
Yeah, perhaps though I do feel like if I feel like the overall community wins from every funding, whoever gets it, it's still a win for the community, even if it's the same person. And I believe that in a way there is a reason if one person gets multiple times or whatever, there's a reason, there's a hope that if one gets enough, then perhaps also more finally flows in. But yeah, I understand what you mean, but yeah.
And also like, I haven't been in Kulka and I don't know.
The only funding, like public funding that you can apply for, there's one person, basically, yeah, cultural endowment.
No, there are like different culture, yeah. What I wanted to say, that I usually don't take Kulka as competitive platform because wait, what I wanted to say is that they have like, because I think because we have so like few money, like not a lot of money, and there are not like this, there are like their own systems. That okay, and I don't know, maybe I don't know, somebody can comment on that, but like it feels like it's not that he or she is better, he or she should make more, so I don't take it as well like this, because there are some other things what they take into consideration. Maybe they gave money last time to this person and now they need to give money to that person, or like, so it's, yeah, it's like a present, but not like a thing to take into account if you're doing something, I feel.
I also, I don't know, there's a theory of mine that in Estonia we often call the dance as like a weaker sister of something bigger. And there are usually these different fields that the dance can be sister of. For example, theater or sports, or dance education as part of extracurricular activities, or visual arts, etc. And I feel like there are these dance artists usually take a route towards one of these fields and then create or find their community from the people who've decided to go down the same type of route. So first I would like to know if in Ukraine it's similar, or can you be very much dance, only contemporary dance? And then also, what type of community do you guys feel like you are most part of?
I will present my personal point of view on this. So I think that in Ukraine, dance is very much separated from all other art forms. It has been, even what was always very strange, for many, many years it was even separated from music, meaning from creating music, especially for dance performances. So I would say that it's only started maybe 5 years ago that we as an organization started looking for composers who are interested to work with dance artists to create some music for dance performance. The main reason I think here is funding, because composers also want to get money for what they do, and dancers very often and choreographers has been creating works without funding. So they just do things, and who wants to do it without money? And then with visual art, I don't know, I always thought like that we as an organization with that Artil project, then we had this Panther project. So we established few projects aimed to collaborate with different art forms, with augmented reality, with composers, with stage designers, with whatever. Because traditionally, I think in Ukraine, choreographers do everything. So they select music for themselves, they create costumes for themselves, they create stage design for themselves, then they go rent the theater, then they sell the ticket, then they create the poster. Then I remember when I created my first dance company, we printed these posters, and then at night, I took my car, and with my friends we were driving through the city and putting these posters everywhere where it's not allowed. So we did it at night always, like 2 weeks before the performance, like each 3 days, because normally 1-2 days it was there, then police get it off, then we again go at night and put it back. That's always like this. And only now it goes like to this way of collaborate with other, like create kind of artistic team and create something together. And but theater, I think, always imagined that dance is a part of theater, which I was always protesting. I've had so many discussions where I was, maybe I'm wrong, but this is my way. I was always saying, no, theater is not dance, and dance is not theater. Please don't do it. And then at some moment we even come to that system when Ukrainian Culture Foundation, that's the funding organization, then they even separate the funding, that this is the funding for theater and this is funding for contemporary dance, which was, victory. Because we can't compete with theater applications.
They canceled that? Last year they canceled that?
They canceled. That was just 1 year before the invasion. Yeah, because of lack of funding, I think. So yeah, that's my point of view.
It's kind of a funny thing in Estonian cultural endowment, like when you want to work with like dancers and musicians, it's different departments of the cultural endowments that support dancers and different than musicians. Like the performance art department doesn't support musicians.
So I make this project and I can apply to both of the departments to get the money to work with the musicians. But then it can happen that the performance artist supports the dancers, but the music department doesn't give money for the musicians, and you're not even allowed to take some money from the dancers yourself and give it to musicians because that's from the dance department, and you have to always show that this money went for the professional dance artists. So then it's how do I make this project? Because it was meant to be a collaboration between the two
How many musicians?
2. No, I'm just in general, because I've only done it for the contact improv stuff. But it's also how a performance would work because...
But you can apply for sound under the performance.
Do you?
Yes.
Because I was thought, I was called that yes. No, we don't give it to musicians.
It depends, I think, what kind of support you're asking for. But every performance includes light designer, sound designer, etc., etc.
Okay. Yes, but what happens is that if I don't know, I decide to write a book, then I'm not a writer. I cannot apply, or I can apply for writers or thingy. I wouldn't get money from there. But if I apply for a performance endowment to write a book, yeah. I might get money because my background runs in performance art. So this is a interesting type of thing that yeah, it happens a lot with visual arts, I think, and then also with musicians or performance artists who would like to create music, and then they apply for performance art endowment to get funding for their musical projects.
Yeah. I mean, now you have been talking about the funding part, which is difficult, especially when dance and theater is together, because majority goes to theater. But if I look at it practically and try to little bit be positive, or often I hear this performing arts are taking over. There's so little dance and people are more conceptual and there is almost no movement. And it kind of starts to become this going against theater, going against performing arts. And I would return to what you said, dance is dance, theater is theater. I agree, kind of, but at the same time, I think we should be looking for balance. And I think in Estonia, because it's in Latvia exactly the same thing, because there is the background of folk dance, and folk dance gets state support, and it's understood, and it's big, and it's needed, it's national, etc., that this new dance, contemporary dance, or whatever the dance of nowadays is that is not anymore contemporary dance, will be something in 10 years. It should also exist, but it hasn't arrived yet because of this, what's the word, this discourse of kind of not matching, and therefore there is not enough support in both practical, financial, and going back to what you asked earlier, I think there's still organizations in Estonia that are trying to change this or working on this. We have Tantsuliit, we have Union that is working in one way, having these conversations, trying to kind of it's kind of this something's happening, and it might take many years, hopefully less years than many, but there is right now with the changes of cutting funding, a lot of fear around it, but that's hopefully gonna lead us to kind of growing in it. And I think it would be wonderful to find a balance between theater, performing arts and dance, not excluding that one is better or the other one is better.
Yeah, on the same topic, I also think it's important to somehow separate them, and if we give up dance, then yes, other things take over and it will disappear in somehow. But at the same time, as an artist, I feel a lot of pressure in this topic, that I have a dance background, I should do dance pieces, I'm more in a performance art, oh, now I'm doing visual art, but what is your performance? Do you want the dance or the performing arts committee to come to watch it? And I'm I am movement-based, but is it dance? Is it dance enough? So all those questions, but it's another 5 hours of discussion probably. But there's a lot of pressure in that, especially if you're going a bit away maybe from that, but you still feel that you are, but kind of not, or who says that then?
I actually wanted to add, and I don't want it to end with the thought that, okay, then we don't need it. But then in Estonia, with the funding system, with opportunities, with the work, tööturg. Wow, Estonian. Possibilities of working in dance field. Then why do we need 2 programs that focus on movement? Like, there will be a new batch of Tallinn University dancers coming out. What are they gonna do? Like, these are state schools, these are universities that give education, but they don't think where those students will go. Like, what are they gonna do? And this is, I think, very important question as well, that if those schools exist, the state should be a little bit more thinking about where does it go. It is not like all Tallinn University students who come out will go into folk dance, which is a big part, but not all.
Yes, we are also starting to close. So perhaps, do we have any questions from the audience? If
separated to different dance, or it's just dance?
It's one, yeah.
Everybody study everything, like the folk, classic, modern, contemporary.
Yes.
Everything. And then you choose what you want to do. Okay.
Yes. So to close, I would like to ask if, like, in your dream world, what type of role would the community play in your practice?
I'm in between of wanting to have this, what was discussed also like in the previous panel, like having a group. But I'm starting to think that do I want this? Like sometimes I'm like jealous of theater people who are going to rehearsal in the morning and then playing a play in the night, and I'm like, oh, I want this kind of life and like the stable salary, and so the stable salary I still want, but but I don't know if I want this life actually. I actually like this randomness in my life, so I'm like in between, like I haven't made my decision yet or thinking about it.
I went to Brussels thinking that I want to finish the school and go to big company and dance under one choreographer. While being in the school, I realized that this is mission impossible and this is definitely what I don't want to do to my life. And therefore, nowadays, I kind of agree with you. I think in utopian world of perfect dream, it would be nice to have this open house of possibilities. Some that want to have this kind of troupe that we talk about. But I personally would imagine that it could be something like an open collective where somebody needs to lead it. So I believe that. So artistically that these people would somehow change. And you would have options of joining, being part of something, doing your own thing, but it not becoming a company.
Probably I can say that in perfect world, I would like in our country people not to ask you what is your real work when you say that you're an artist. So I can of course talk about that a lot, but this is some situation that really describe how it's going on now, and we can say it about dancers and other artists. About previous question, I felt that visual artists now get much more support than dance artists. But yeah, this is idea that to hear that people like, oh, you're a dancer, wow, that's so cool, and that's I can imagine that you can build cool career here in Ukraine. So something like that, and also in to have it more valuable, not in not this commercial events and commercial dance, but more this like art act, like art in this art way, when people not thinking that, okay, I'm gonna do strong choreography and I'm gonna sell all tickets. Not like that, but more about some inner research and like to focus more on that and to make it more valuable. So,
yeah, the same. The same. I just want to add that I would love if it would happen that if you are a dancer in Ukraine, that you earn like a dancer, not like a teacher, not like I don't know, manager, PR manager, grant writer or something, and so on, so on. You just dance and you just do your work like a, I don't know, or maybe like a choreographer, and you just choreographer. You don't need to do all this that you mentioned before. Work. You need to put the placard posters in different places.
Only if you want to.
Yes, only if you want to. Yes, and you don't need to thinking about that. What
at that time it was a passion. We really enjoyed doing this. So yeah. I want to add that I dream of the community where every member of the community would respect what other members do. First of all, that's very important, which really creates a feeling of belonging and trust. So people not, even when they smile to you after they see your back, they wouldn't discuss what you did. And the second, which is the next level, I think, but also as a project manager, I think that's important, that having so many people in performing arts and dance especially, that could be quite power to push, to impact the decision at the level of Ministry of Culture and even government. So people can come together and protest. And they all can come together and protest if they think they need changes. Because if it comes sometimes to the point where we understand that we need to change something, so let's come together and talk with people who make decisions, then there is no people. Because everybody has its own piece of bread with butter, and that's enough.
Not always. One situation, it was 1.5 years ago in Paris. It was organizer of the event. She came to Ukrainian embassy, and she was looking for Ukrainian contemporary dancers to add them in the program. And she just didn't know where she can ask or go, and she went to Ukrainian embassy, and she was told that there is no contemporary dance in Ukraine. In the Ukrainian embassy in France. So it would be nice also to not to have this kind of situation, and to have opposite thing that like, of course, contemporary dance, we have a lot. Even if I'm politician and I don't know all of them, but know that it exists.
Yes, something similar happened in the first panel of this Koreokohvik as well. But we are now finishing up. Do we have the soup?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask you about your ideas? How, because I don't really like, sometimes we have this Ukrainian like discussion and we can say like, oh, that's so bad and that's so bad. But I'm really trying to focus on what we can do. And do you have some ideas or keys, clues, how to change situation, how to make it better here? And maybe we can just share, or you can share. It would be nice to hear from you. What are you planning to do with that, and how are you planning to change it or improve it?
To not leave the field.
Yeah. The invasion should stop. You should establish a Ukrainian dance community really, but this is a topic like why we are also sitting here is a bit like awkward. We're talking about communities, and it's very hard, really respect towards you in that sense. Like you're talking about the communities abroad, but I really wish and hope that soon you can work on the community that is your community. And therefore, I don't even want to touch upon this topic. I mean, we're trying to work and stay positive, I would say, and work towards some kind of future goal. We can privately talk about it more.
Deal.
Yes, thank you to everyone for sharing their thoughts on this topic. Let's give a round of applause to